Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 12 it says, "Before destruction the heart of man is haughty, but humility goes before honor." And so this proverb teaches us that pride goes before the fall, or pride goes before the destruction. Whenever we are prideful, we set ourselves up for destruction. And there's several reasons why this would be the case. And one of the reasons is that people who are prideful oftentimes don't take heed to warnings. You might try to warn a prideful person about certain things, maybe the direction of their life or certain decisions that they're making. And because of their pride, they don't take heed to those warnings. And so they continue down the pathway of destruction. And that's one reason why pride might lead to destruction. Another reason would be that prideful people oftentimes cannot be corrected. Um, they're doing certain things and they think that they're right. They think that they have it all together, that they have it all figured out. And if a person comes to them and tries to correct them, then they become angry or they become defensive and they don't really listen to correction. And so that can lead to destruction, especially if going back to the warning thing, if they're going down a bad path and they're about to lead themselves or their family in a very destructive path, if they're not listening to correction along the way, then they'll just continue down that path. And so pride can lead to destruction simply because they won't allow people to correct them. Also, pride can lead to destruction because oftentimes prideful people don't ask for help. It might be that maybe they do see that they don't quite understand something or that they don't really see what the right direction is, but they don't seek help because of their pride. And they don't seek assistance from other people because of their pride. And because of that, they really are cutting themselves off from the help that they could receive in a particular situation. And because of that, oftentimes it will lead to destruction. It will lead to very serious consequences. And then maybe the biggest way in which pride leads to destruction is that prideful people oftentimes don't seek God's way. Because, again, for the other reasons we spoke about, they don't really think that they need to learn God's ways, that they have it figured out. They have life figured out. They have, what their life should look like figured out, the path that they should take. And so instead of humbly seeking the Lord's guidance, humbly going to God's word and correcting their lives, as we read about Josiah doing when they came across the scroll of the law, instead of doing that, they just plow through life doing it the way that they think they should do it and not really seeking God's way. And of course, if we do that throughout the whole course of our life, it will certainly lead to destruction because we will be walking in rebellion against God. We'll be walking according to our own desires and according to our own heart, and we'll be walking further and further away from the plans and purposes of God. And so pride can lead to destruction for a lot of reasons. Pride can lead to destruction because a prideful person doesn't take warning, they don't take correction, they don't seek help, and they certainly don't seek God's help oftentimes, or God's way, oftentimes. And so we have to guard ourselves against pride. Pride can lead to destruction. Pride is a very destructive thing. Oftentimes we may not think of it as that serious of a sin, but it does have very serious consequences oftentimes in people's lives. And so we got to guard ourselves against pride and just walk humbly before the Lord, walk humbly before other people, and be open to receiving help from people, receiving warnings and corrections from people, seeking God's way, doing all these things in a humble way. And if we do that, then we'll constantly be guarded against drifting off into the path of destruction, because God will be able to utilize every tool available to steer us in the right direction. And because we have a humble heart, we'll willingly go with the Lord in the way that He's directing us. And the Lord wants to direct us in the pathway of life and not into the pathway of destruction. So let's guard our hearts against pride today. Let's take that before the Lord if we're struggling with it, and really just walk in humility before God. And that's what we can gather from our reading today from the book of Proverbs. And with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.